Hi, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Bruce, and welcome to Alabama Farm. It's getting close to the end of the year. It's a little bit cold out, so what I'm going to do is a little bit recap of projects that I've done and where we're at, and projects that I'm going to be taking on next year. Some of the folks wanted to have an idea of what the farm looks like, so this video is going to do that. So this is a view outside my backyard, and the property extends over these trees about 1,000 yards and goes all the way over here. There's a ridge just below there. This is one of the fields that we work. Trees all the way down that way, and the workshop is over on this side. So this is a view out the front. This is Uncle Fred's trailer. Of course, all this tree line back here. This field, let's see, this field here. The field behind is another property. And of course, this is out of our front yard. And we'll go down and take a look. This is the two-story house that my wife built. So here we are at ground level. And you'll remember from a couple of seconds ago that that's Uncle Fred's trailer. This is Pop's house, and the workshop's back here. It's a little bit colder today, and so there's not going to be a lot of outside jobs done. These trees here, these are pecan trees. Down there, there. So we have quite a few. One tree will deliver something like maybe 40 gallons of unshelled pecans. And then when we go ahead and shell them, you might get a 5-gallon bucket. So first thing that we're going to come up to, as you can tell, it's a real short walk over to Pop's house, is that we're going to come up to the bulldozer that we're going to be using on the property. A lot of the trees have grown up over farmland that we could use, haven't been using in years. It was mostly peanuts, but peanuts aren't paying what they used to, so we're not doing peanuts anymore. So here's where the bulldozer is, and that's a pump house. And some of these sheds or shacks look real old, but they were originally here since about the 1900s, so they're pretty old. This is the shed that I normally work out of. This particular one here used to be an old smokehouse, and we converted that into Pop's workshop. So, coming back here, again, we have more pecan trees. We have Pop talking on the phone. And so this is another one of the fields that we have back here. And that field there, and of course beyond that tree line, so we have a lot of timber on the property right now. But these are the principal fields that we've been using as of late. So there's this big field out here. Get a better idea when we get closer to the gate. There's one of our cows. The rest of the herd, I'll try and zoom in on them. They're right there. And so you can see the field goes by pretty good. These are the pens that we keep the cows in. Here's a lean-to. Cement mixer for fixing the roads. This is a fertilizer spreader. Originally, when I first moved up here with the wife, what we were going to do is build a shop so I can restore motorcycles. And I have quite a few people who have been watching me on that. I have all these pieces, but this is actually a Kawasaki 500. Super fast bike, very rare. This is going to be my wife's bike, and it's a Kawasaki 350. Over here we have a Suzuki, which is a rather unusual one because it is shaft driven, not chain driven. So that's going to be a restoration project. This is a Chips Kawasaki police bike that again needs some work. And the people that have been following the motorcycle will know under here it's the only one that has a cover. This is the GS 750 Kawasaki Suzuki that I've been restoring, and it's about 70% done. That's one of the things I want to jump on after I finish with the truck. So bike here is a little bit of extra. That's a fertilizer and seed spreader. That's a sprayer. This is a arm that you put on the back of the tractor and you can lift things. And if you recall the Ford tractor series where we lifted the heads, the valve cover and the valve heads, and when we redid that job, we used this piece of equipment to lift the item back off and on the tractor motor. Bush hog sprayer, of course. Folks will recognize this. This is the Allis Chalmers that I'm working on. I was waiting for a couple of parts and for the weather to get a little bit warmer so I can spray some paint. We've got this section here to do, which means we're gonna have to go ahead and press bearings for that piece and that piece. And once we get that, we can build the last one in. We're also going to be putting scrapers on. It's a bar with special tools so that as dirt builds up, there's a scraper and it'll scrape the dirt off so you can get a clean cut. This guy's almost done. I'll be looking forward to that because it's going to clear out a lot of space in the workshop. This is another disc. Unfortunately, it was in pretty bad shape, so we decided not to rebuild that. But when I was talking about the scrapers, this is what they look like. And see, they come down right here on the disc itself and they scrape the dirt off so you have a clean blade going into the ground. Okay, so this pan scraper we're going to use to take dirt from other sections of the property, and we're going to level out my front yard. The backhoe is in good shape in that it starts real well, runs well. However, we had to take the controller off that controls the backhoe itself and have the folks pressure tested. I've got a couple of leaky valves. Let's see, the bad boy itself, we're changing the oil on the hydraulic drives here, behind here. And so I just got the filters the other day, and so we're going to be going ahead and doing that when it warms up just a little bit more. Of course, the Jacobson's working real good. We got they finished doing my special sharpener for that, and it's all set up so that I can go ahead and even out the blades and sharpen them uniformly using this particular tool and this setup that I had them made at the machine shop for me. So I'm looking forward this year to having a real sharp lawnmower without having to worry too much. All this area here next to, you'll recognize the Ford, And this is a John Deere that we have as an extra. The reason we have a bigger disc is this disc itself is kind of small, and so you have to do 2 passes with it, whereas with the Allis-Chalmers all you're going to have to do is 1 pass. So you're going to cut down on the amount of fuel that's going to be used. And you can see this one doesn't have scrapers. And this is the problem you run into. You get a whole bunch of dirt built up there, and then eventually your cutting blades can't go in the ground because of the dirt. So that's the reason why having those scrapers there kind of important, especially in Alabama, because we have clay, and the clay sticks to everything. I mean, you can run a lawnmower through the mud for a second, come back in, take the hose full blast, and you can't get it off. All right, so looks like there are more cows. Those are our best lawnmowers. They do a great job keeping a lot of the brush down, so we don't have to go in the fields and cut that. We also have this piece of, well, we have 2 more pieces of equipment here that are kind of fun. This is a super industrial grade dirt scraper. What it does is it levels the land. You go ahead and you pull it behind the big fork, because that's what it really takes to pull something like this. And this blade lowers down and picks dirt up, and then when it comes time, you raise this bucket, saves all the dirt, and then you can actually go ahead and lower that bucket again and spread dirt evenly on different areas of the property to even out areas. Hey, cow. And so you can see there's the field all the way down that way, and it goes beyond the tree line. So these are fields that were used to plant crops in. The other thing is what we're looking at here is box scraper. And I know some of these things folks are really used to seeing, but some of my confreres that I've worked with on various occasions have not, so just bringing extra things that they may not have seen. And what you do is you attach this to the back of the tractor, and you can see it's got a blade down here, and that scrapes the dirt, and it applies it evenly so you can level out the ground. There's our dog Buddy. So to recap, the equipment that we have working is the Ford. We're gonna have to do some work on this John Deere. We're gonna have to rebuild the clutches on it. Jacobsen was working fine. Bad Boy's working fine. When we get our controller back for the backhoe will be working great. This pan scraper's good. So we got a lot done this year. What we're looking forward to next year is, of course, sharpening the blades on the Jacobsen, getting the backhoe 100%. We're going to be working on the John Deere, and I hope to advance a little bit more with this Ford flatbed. Where we are right now with it is I stripped down a lot of it, and this motor and the transmission part, which is back here, is ready to be put on a block, a chain, and have the whole block come out of the engine. To do that, what I'm trying to do is take this grill off. I'm gonna have to sandblast it and redo it anyway because it's in pretty poor shape. To do that, I need to get some of these bolts off, but the nut behind them is not welded to the screen anymore, so it turns. So that's going to be a big problem, but we'll tackle that in another video. So this will be a big project. Of course, the Caterpillar needs to be finished, and then lastly, on the Ford, yeah, we had fun with this, is that I noticed that we had some leakage, hydraulic leakage on here, so I'm gonna have to take this plate off and pull this shaft out, this whole piece out, and put in some new seals and O-rings in there, and then that'll completely finish that. So for those that didn't see it, that's the farm, and that's the project for this coming year. I want to thank everybody for watching. Tell your friends, and if you can go ahead and subscribe, as new things come up, you'll automatically get an email for it, and that way you can keep up with all the stuff that I put for this coming year. So again, thanks for listening, thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you as new videos come out.